Hey now, what is up everybody? My name is Mike Brown, aka ReviewKingMB, and I am here, thankfully, to talk about the best movies of 2016. There were a lot of great films, still some movies that I haven't watched yet that I wanted to, but from what I have seen, this is my list. Before I get there though, there are some honorable mentions. And I'm talking about movies that I enjoyed but just didn't quite make the list, like Sausage Party. I really enjoyed Sausage Party. Seth Rogen, you bring his rated R, raunchy brand of humor into an animated movie, something that I don't think I've really seen before. Sure, you have animated TV shows that are a little dark and a little edgy, but not like this. This went full force. Some of the voice casting was great, just some great actors and talent involved here. Neighbors 2, another Seth Rogen movie that I enjoyed as well. Zac Efron, Rose Byrne, you have the cast from the first movie back, but you had a spin on it. You had a sorority, so you had girls like Chloe Moretz, maybe not as hilarious as the first movie, but still good for a comedy sequel. And Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice. I know this might be on some people's worst of list, and that's fine, that's okay. I've debated and I've gone back and forth with this movie so much, and I'll admit, when I first saw it, I wanted to love it more than I actually did love it. I might have just liked it, and then once I saw the director's cut and once I saw the movie more and more, I'm fully okay with saying that I still enjoy the movie. I do. But let's get to the list. Let's get to the top 10 best movies of 2016. Coming in at number 10, The Nice Guys. This was a movie that kind of surprised me, kind of blew me away, because I saw it based on good recommendations, good reviews, and you have Ryan Gosling, Russell Crowe, two actors that you wouldn't think to pair them together. You wouldn't think to put them in a situation where they could do some funny stuff, but they do, and they work great together, and I really like the story. Shane Black, when he's not dealing with Iron Man or Marvel stuff, I think he creates some great characters, some great stories, some great situations, and I really enjoyed this film. Number 9, Arrival. Another movie that kind of swooped in there, and you have Amy Adams, who just great actress, and she really carried this film on her shoulders. Her character was so strong, and everything going on with her daughter and the flashbacks and whatnot, and then Jeremy Renner I enjoyed in the side role, and this whole alien invasion thing. I talked about in my worst of how we had so many of those movies, but it's not the fact that we're getting sick of them, it's that you have to do something interesting with that, something different, something smart, and that's what this movie did. It was smart. It really dealt with maybe if this really happened, what that would be like, and it wasn't just like, oh, the aliens are going to attack first thing. Like, no, we're trying to communicate with them, we're trying to figure things out. And then the ending of this movie I thought was brilliant. Number 8, The Jungle Book. And I'm not somebody who grew up on the animated original Jungle Book. Sure, I've seen it like once or twice, but watching this live action, and when I say live action, it's really just the boy, Mowgli, that's live action, right? Everything else is still CGI, but the CGI is so flawless, so great. It so just blends in perfectly with everything going on. In fact, it's some of the best CGI ever, and I just really enjoyed the story and the little songs that they did put in there. I liked. I just was blown away by this movie, seeing it in the theater in 3D. Number 7, 10, Cloverfield Lane. This movie was one of those surprises, like we got a trailer like a month or two before it was coming out. It was a secret. Nobody knew that it was coming out and that it was being made. I love the fact that it's kind of sort of connected to the original Cloverfield, because I loved the original Cloverfield. I did. And so this cast, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, I always praise over and over for how much I like her. John Goodman really terrified me in this movie, and just the bottled feel that this movie has, and trying to figure out if he's telling the truth while they're in this bunker and what's really outside. And I thought the ending paid off. Some people might not love it, but I enjoyed where this movie went, and I'm looking forward to even more spin-offs or more Cloverfield-like movies, if that's the plan. Number 6, Zootopia. And I'm not the hugest animated person. I want to get caught back up on them. I want to not be left out, because after seeing Zootopia, I love the story, but I love the animation, I love the characters. I thought the bunny was cute as hell, the fox, like the scene with the sloth, that scene in the trailer actually made me sold. I was laughing out loud just from that alone. And I thought it had a great message as far as segregation and just how racism among animals, almost saying something just in real life. It's amazing how they're able to work that into a kid's movie. Number 5, Doctor Strange. This movie was, again, Marvel does it again, bringing a character to life that it wasn't even on my radar as far as thinking it was a possibility. Seeing Doctor Strange in cartoon stuff and the comic books, it's like, yeah, he's a cool character, but they'll never do that. They'll never go that far with magic and alternate dimensions, but they did it. And Benedict Cumberbatch, great casting as Stephen Strange. I loved everything with him and his backstory. Sure, you wish you got more of it, but what we got was great. And the Ancient One, Tilda Swinton, was great. She ended up being like my favorite character in the movie, and that's saying something with all the backlash that went into it. And I loved the villain. I'm not talking about Mads Mikkelsen, unfortunately, because he was fine in the movie, but I'm talking about, I guess I can talk about it, Dormammu. I love that they brought him into the film, and actually the way how they worked the stuff with him. Like I want to see a sequel now. Now that you've established this world, now that you've introduced us to everything that you can do here, the end battle where everything is going backwards in time, like that was genius. All of the Inception-like stuff, but done times 100. Visually, it was amazing seeing it in IMAX. Like I loved visually this movie. Number 4, Rogue One, a Star Wars story. I gushed about this movie a few times, but I don't mind doing it again. I love the original story. Some people say that it's too connected to the old stuff. It's not original enough. I thought it was pretty damn original. These characters, I enjoy Jyn Erso and the rebels and the conflict with if the rebels maybe are really the good guys. K2SO, like these characters I liked. And then the Darth Vader stuff was badass. It's amazing thinking about how this movie ends and how Disney had the balls to do everything that they did in this movie. I never thought I would see a Star Wars movie that's this dark and this epic as far as the war aspect goes. Number 3, again, controversial. People will probably have this on their worst of list, and that's fine, but Suicide Squad, for me, was awesome. And look, I've watched this movie, I don't know how many times by now, like 6 or 7 times. I just keep watching it over and over, just to really get my opinion down on it. And I still love it. I do. I hear what people say about it. I hear the negatives that people have on it, and I hear them out, and I can even agree with some of them on some of it. But overall, I still love this film. I still love Harley Quinn. I don't mind the Joker. It's a little weird, but I don't mind the Joker. Will Smith I thought was great. The stuff with Batman I loved, and the references to Superman in the future with Justice League. I thought Amanda Waller was great. Sure, the Enchantress is a little weird, but I have so much fun with this movie. I never thought once again I'd see a Suicide Squad movie that it's just DC, for better or for worse, is taking chances. And they're pleasing some people like me, but they're not pleasing everybody, and I get it. They're changing course. They're going to change direction, it seems, next year. But for what we have so far, I'm good with it. I'm okay with it. Number 2, Deadpool. This film, it's so fun. It's so great. It's so Ryan Reynolds. I love Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool. He really made this character like from obscurity almost into a huge household name. Everybody now knows who Deadpool is, and I think the success of this movie is really changing course. It's changing the course of the X-Men films to now make, I think Deadpool's going to be Fox's tentpole character from now on, and that's great. I can't wait for the sequel. I loved this brand of humor. I loved the places that they were able to go. But my number one favorite movie of the year, this probably isn't a huge shocker, right? Well, Captain America Civil War. I love it. I love it for so many reasons. Captain America, Chris Evans, Steve Rogers, and his stance on the Accords and Bucky and protecting him, and then you have Tony Stark, who feels the complete opposite. Two stances that to where you actually understand them, and you're torn between which one is right, and seeing the heroes take sides, so nobody really looks like the bad guys here, and then it hurts in some ways to see them fight and go against each other, but it's also insanely fun. That airport scene! How many times am I going to talk about how awesome that airport scene is, and how it just, like, it could have lasted even longer, and I wouldn't have mind. You have so much fun moments with Ant-Man, and Black Panther was a badass as well. Great introduction for him. And Spider-Man. Spider-Man existing in this MCU was something that just needed to happen. It's so... It feels so right. He's home. This is how Marvel stays on top. Marvel continuously makes these movies above and beyond what they really have to do, but they take pride in their movies, in their stories, in their characters, in their audience. And that's why I feel like Marvel deserves to be where they are right now. I love this film. I loved all of these films, really. So guys, let me know in the comments below, what were your top 10 movies of 2016? What movies did I miss? Because I still will be doing some catch-up movies, believe that. So guys, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later!